and welcome back to Sustainability Ventures, your space for climate clarity, truth, and innovation. Today, we are taking a hard look at a phrase that's everywhere in business reports and brand campaigns: sustainable global supply chains. Corporations promise them, investors demand them, consumers believe in them. But here's the question we rarely ask: how sustainable are global supply chains really? Behind the green labels and glossy reports lies a much more complicated and uncomfortable reality. Today, let's uncover the truth. When companies talk about sustainable supply chains, they usually highlight things like lower carbon emissions, supplier codes of conduct, recyclable packaging, ESG performance scores. You'll hear claims like, "We've cleaned up our supply chain," "Our sourcing is ethical and low carbon," "Sustainability is embedded end-to-end." It sounds reassuring, but here's the problem. Global supply chains are designed for speed, scale, and cost, not sustainability. And those three priorities often directly conflict with climate and social responsibility. A modern product might involve raw materials from Africa, manufacturing in Asia, assembly in Eastern Europe, warehousing in the Middle East, final delivery in North America. Every step involves fuel, energy, and emissions. Even with efficiency improvements, long-distance global supply chains are inherently carbon-intensive. No matter how green the branding is, shipping materials thousands of kilometers multiple times has a real climate cost, one that offsets and efficiency tweaks can't erase.
Here's a truth most sustainability reports avoid. Many companies haven't reduced emissions, they've outsourced them. Manufacturing is often moved to countries with cheaper labor, weaker environmental enforcement, and lower reporting transparency. So while the brand's headquarters emissions look better, the real pollution happens elsewhere. This creates a dangerous illusion. Corporate emissions appear to fall, global emissions continue to rise. The supply chain becomes a carbon blind spot, hidden, distant, and politically convenient. Companies often claim their supply chains are ethical and responsible, but reality looks different. Audits are announced in advance, data often comes from self-reporting, subcontractors are rarely fully monitored, cost pressure encourages corner cutting. When prices are pushed down, sustainability is usually the first thing sacrificed, not profits. True sustainability requires slower timelines, higher costs, and shared responsibility. And many global supply chains simply aren't built for that. Here's where things get even more complicated. Many sustainable supply chain claims exist mainly to satisfy ESG ratings, investor checklists, and regulatory disclosures. The focus shifts from real-world impact to score optimization. A company can score well while relying on fossil-fueled logistics, using questionable suppliers, and making only marginal improvements. This isn't sustainability transformation, it's sustainability theater, impressive on paper, limited in reality. True supply chain sustainability would look very different. Shorter, regionalized supply chains. True supply chain sustainability would look very different. Shorter, regionalized supply chains. Fewer transport stages, clean energy-powered manufacturing, real-time emissions transparency, fair wages built into pricing models, fewer products but better ones. This isn't impossible.
but it requires companies to rethink growth, speed, and profit expectations. And that's the hardest part. Sustainable global supply chains aren't a lie, but they're often far less sustainable than we're led to believe. As consumers, investors, and citizens, we shouldn't settle for slogans. We should demand transparency, real reductions, and system-level change. If this video made you think, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. Can global supply chains ever be truly sustainable, or do we need an entirely new model? Thanks for watching. And remember, real sustainability isn't marketed, it's measured.